I risked my entire species. Just to love an alien woman who calls me hers. The stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across the sky, the silence of the deep space broken only by the hum of the starship's engines. Aboard the vessel, I stood at the viewport, gazing out into the vast unknown. My name is Jonah, a human from Earth, and I was about to make a decision that would forever change the fate of my entire species. The mission had been simple at first. Conduct research on the newly discovered alien species known as the Ery'ther. But everything shifted the moment I met her. Her name was Zhalara, and her species, the Ery'ther, were a race of beings more ancient and advanced than anything humanity could ever fathom. Tall, with skin that shimmered like the midnight sky, she was a sight to behold. Her eyes glowed a deep violet, her presence both graceful and commanding. It was impossible not to be drawn to her. The first time we spoke, it was through a translator, but even the cold, mechanical voice of the device couldn't disguise the warmth in her words. She had questions, curiosity in her gaze about the human race, our technology, our culture. But as we spent more time together, those questions turned into something deeper. It was clear that she was fascinated by humanity, but something more was blooming between us. It was impossible to deny it. The chemistry between us was palpable. She was alien, yes, but in every way that mattered, she was more human to me than any of my fellow Earthlings. I knew what the implications of this would be. A human and an Ery'ther. This was more than just a forbidden love. The Ery'ther were a powerful and influential species in the galaxy, and their politics were as complex as their biology. The elders of the Ery'ther Council had made it clear. Relationships with other species were prohibited. A bond between us would be an affront to their traditions, and worse yet, a threat to the fragile peace between the Ery'ther and the United Galactic Federation. But Zhalara and I couldn't stay away from each other. Our shared moments of laughter, the quiet talks in the observation deck, the way her hand fit perfectly in mine, everything about us felt like fate. Yet every moment I spent with her was also a step deeper into treacherous waters. The first major test came when the Ery'ther fleet arrived in the system. The ships, sleek and silent, moved in formation, their presence a heavy reminder of what was at stake. I knew that the Council would not tolerate any more interactions between us. They would demand that I be removed from the mission, and Zhalara would be forced to sever her ties with me, her loyalty to her people outweighing any personal desire. I tried to prepare myself for the inevitable, but then she came to me one night, her usual calm demeanor replaced with an urgency I had never seen before. "I can't lose you," she said, her voice a whisper against the stillness of the ship. She stood before me, her tall form illuminated by the soft glow of the control panels. "My people. They will demand your life if they find out. I will be forced to choose between you and them, Jonah." Her eyes were wide with fear, but also something else, hope. Hope that we could find a way to make this work. That we could somehow defy the odds together. "I don't care about their rules," I said, my voice firm with conviction. "I love you, Zhalara. And I'm willing to risk everything for you, for us." She took a step forward, her hand gently cupping my face. "You risk more than you know, Jonah. You risk the very future of your species." "I'm willing to face that," I replied, looking into her eyes, seeing the struggle within her. "If it means we can be together." For a moment we stood in silence, both of us aware of the gravity of the situation. The future of the galaxy, the peace of the Federation, the survival of my species. It all hung in the balance. But then, with a soft sigh, Zhalara spoke again. "Then let us face this together." We knew that there was no turning back. The next few days were a whirlwind. We had to make our move before the Council could react. Zhalara and I shared one final secret meeting, And she told me of a way we could escape the confines of the Ery'ther fleet. We could leave the galaxy, find a new world, far from the reach of her people and the Federation. The plan was risky. There was no guarantee that we would make it. But for love we would risk it all. As the moment to launch drew near, I stood at the helm of my ship, Zhalara at my side. The Federation fleet was closing in, but we had already made our move. I could see her ship on the radar, her own escape route, hidden within the fabric of deep space. "This is it," she said, her voice trembling but her eyes locked on mine. "Are you ready?" "I've never been more ready for anything in my life," I replied, the weight of my decisions settling upon my shoulders. There was no turning back. I was leaving my species, my home, my past, for her. Together we set the course, navigating into the unknown. The stars stretched out before us, as endless as our love. And I realized in that moment that this leap into the unknown, this defiance of fate, was worth every risk, every consequence. Because with Zhalara, I had found something more powerful than any law or rule. I had found my true home. As the stars blurred into streaks of light, I felt the pull of the future, one where love, not politics, would define who we were. Zhalara's hand remained in mine, our fingers entwined. She was no longer just an alien woman to me. She was mine and I was hers. And in the vast, uncharted depths of space, that was all that mattered. As the stars streaked by, our ship sailed deeper into the unknown. The Federation and Ery'ther fleets were left behind, powerless to stop us. Zhalara stood beside me, her presence a calming force amidst the uncertainty. The hum of the ship's engines was the only sound, as if the universe itself had fallen silent, holding its breath. "I never thought it would come to this," she whispered, her violet eyes reflecting the vastness of space outside. "Risking everything. Just for love." I squeezed her hand, feeling the weight of our decisions. "We're still here, Zhalara. That's what matters." We had chosen a life of uncertainty, but in each other we had found something worth fighting for. The future was unclear, but as long as we were together we had everything we needed. The view through the viewport was breathtaking. The galaxy stretched before us, a sea of stars waiting to be explored. No longer would we be bound by the laws of others. No longer would we hide our love. We were free. "Do you think they'll come after us?" she asked, her voice soft. "They might," I said, my tone steady. "But we'll be ready. We have each other." And that was all that mattered. In the end, love was the greatest rebellion we could offer. We were no longer bound by the expectations of the Federation or her people. We were free, and together we would face whatever challenges awaited us. As the ship soared through the cosmos, the future felt limitless. I had risked everything for her, and in doing so, I had found a life worth living, by her side in the stars.